me what's going on. I've never seen a case like this before. 23 identities live in Kevin's body. Did something happen?
There's a flower on the pillows, a flower in the bathroom, like we're important. Who is that? Maybe she can help us.
We're here! We're in here!
Don't worry. He knows what you're here for. He's not allowed to touch you. He knows that.
My name's Hedwig. I have red socks.
How old are you?
9.
The human brain is the most complex object in the universe.
The only way we're getting out of here is if one of them decides to let us out.
Aren't you the clever one?
Hedwig, could you help us?
Okay. I have a window in my room.
Maybe you could show us.
Oh, that's here. Now it's closed. Now it's open.
Did you think it was a real window? So you could leave?
An individual with multiple personalities can change their body chemistry with their thoughts.
Someone's coming for you.
What will happen when he unlocks the potential of his brain?
There is no limit to what he can become.
Tonight is a sacred night. You will be in the presence of something greater. The world will understand now. The beast is real.
He's done awful things to people, and he'll do awful things to you.
Trinidad, your island man, giving you the best movie reviews here on the island. Let me see. I had meant to see another movie today, but because I was a little lazy, I said, let me just go to the nearby theater and I'll see Split by M. Night Shyamalan Dingalong. So, and let me just say, I've never been a really big fan of his work. M. Night Shyamalan. This is his return. Again, it's getting a very positive buzz after his previous movie, also having good buzz, called The Visit. And remember, our rating scale is Shaka thumbs up. It's good to go. I recommend it. Or Shaka thumbs down. It's junk. I don't recommend it. And well, let me just say, I'm a little torn with this movie. Some of these reviewers that I've watched online, they've given it like a pretty much a B. Some C, B. And then with the twist at the end, maybe a B overall. So it definitely doesn't hit it out of the park. I don't think anybody's given this movie an A. C or B's what most of the reviewers have been giving this. So it's up to me. Now it's my turn. So what is it, guys? Shaka thumbs up, good to go. Shaka thumbs down, bad to go, or junk? Well, all right. I'm going to have to say Shaka thumbs down for this movie. Split. Watch the first 10 minutes of the film. You see these 3 girls, they get kidnapped. All that happens within the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie. And then it's pretty much, them trying to get out, I guess. But not really trying super hard until the 3rd act when it's like almost too late. and that's my beef with the movie. My other beef with the movie is that I'm a student of psychology. I've studied psychology. I'm also a bit of a dabbler in Eastern philosophy. Well, I've got to say that this fails on a lot of levels. There's no way that this person, James McElroy, would be like this. I think I would, as I was watching it, I was making comparisons to several other movies. The two that stood out for me would be Sybil, of course, way back in the 70s, with Sally Field. That was the first to kind of bring to the forefront the idea of multiple personality disorder. Here they call it DID, which I believe stands for dissociative identity disorder. And so, basically it's a new name for the same old thing. The way that it's depicted in this movie as far as mental illness, I can't say I agree with it, and I feel that it gives it some negative flavor to it. Especially if somebody is suffering from some type of mental illness, or knows someone who's suffered or had that experience in their own family, that's gonna, this portrayal of it in this film is going to leave you with a bad taste in your mouth. That being said, James McAvoy's character, his acting is superb in the film. He's, in the film they say that he suffers from 23 different personalities. Only 3 take the forefront. So you really only see him switch between 3, maybe 4 at the most. There's a few moments where he does maybe 7. But, you're not seeing like a whole bunch of different shades of his characters throughout the movie, unfortunately. There are 2 movies. One was Sybil, that I compared this to. The other would be Altered States. Again, back in the late 70s, early 80s, Altered States was about a scientist who used a sensory deprivation chamber to increase and decrease his evolutionary stages. So he becomes kind of a beast-like creature, almost a caveman or a Neanderthal, and he runs and terrorizes the city. In the few final moments of that film, he increases his evolution, in Altered States, so that he becomes kind of a higher being, more, I guess, psychically endowed. So this is kind of on that level where M. Night Shyamalan's story behind this person, James McAvoy, and his 23 personalities, is that they all kind of sort of, in a way, coalesce and combine into one super-like being with ultimate power called the Beast. And it's like, okay. Now when the Matrix came out, people, physicists were talking about, well, as much as Eastern religion would push this to the forefront, that we know that the mind can do amazing and powerful things. We know that it can promote healing and, change body chemistry to an extent in humans, and thus the use of like biofeedback is a studied thing like that, to slow one's heartbeat, control, blood pressure, things like that. This takes it to the realm of, supernatural, super, fantasy science kind of thing. And again, as a hardcore, scientist, if somebody's looking at psychology, the mind, the study of the body even, you're not maybe going to get as much enjoyment out of this as the person just going for a popcorn flick. So that's, again, maybe I'm a little biased in my overall position on this movie, but that's how I feel with it. Again, so shock and thumbs down. I don't recommend it for full price. See it at $6 on Tuesday or Thursday. But definitely, catch it on Netflix or iTunes, when it comes out on video, in that aspect of it. Other than that, like I said, they do kind of sort of cross the line, M. Night Shyamalan, in this, talking about, trying to get into the superhuman aspect of things, being able to combine all these almost 23 people into one person, so that he's a super person, a super being, pretty much. And, you know, there were aspects of this that's like, I did enjoy it more than X-Men Apocalypse. And the fact that James McAvoy was in it, you know, got me kind of thinking in the film that, oh, you know, this is kind of getting onto the sensational aspects of things, more like a superhero kind of movie. And that's my feeling. I said, oh, I feel like this could be, you know, part of the X-Men universe. And then, you know, again, talking about multiple personalities, you know, somebody who's kind of sort of mutating into a super being. You know, I thought about the upcoming TV show also of Legion, you know, which is supposed to be Charles Xavier's son. You know, Charles Xavier, who's recently in the movies played, you know, Charles Xavier, you know, leader of the X-Men, you know, mutants with supernatural abilities, superhuman abilities. Well, it's all right here in Split. So, yeah, definitely go ahead and check it out for $6 or on Netflix or iTunes, you know, if you want. You know, again, I don't recommend full price. So for me, again, shock a thumbs down. I don't fully recommend this movie, especially, like I said, at full price. That being said, there is one spoiler at the end, you know, that I'm going to give you that may help you make it through this movie, because honestly, I was a little bored up until that third act, and then it kind of, you know, it kind of goes out with a fizzle. And then the last 30 seconds of the movie shows, all right, spoilers, you know, shows that it is connected to, you know, M. Night Shyamalan's movie Unbreakable. Whereas Bruce Willis appears at the end looking just like his character in Unbreakable. Same, you know, mechanic, you know, kind of t-shirt. So we believe it's the same character. And he names Mr. Glass, his prior supervillain in that movie. So I know there's been some articles floating around about M. Night Shyamalan and his plans for Split Part 2. If they involve Bruce Willis, and if this brings back Bruce Willis's superhero, you know, character from Unbreakable, and Split turns out to be a combination of Part 2 of Split and Unbreakable Part 2, finally, maybe even a cameo by, you know, Samuel L. Jackson's Mr. Glass, then yeah, I'm all for it, you know. And you know, right now I'll say it, I'm looking forward to that movie, and I hope it's going to be a shock of thumbs up. Because, you know, that was the most exciting part of Split, was seeing that last 30 seconds, Bruce Willis, because basically, I'll tell you this right now, James McAvoy's character gets away. So he's still the super villain, the super powered being out there on the loose. And it's like, well, you know, maybe some armor piercing bullets by the police or SWAT team, you know, can take him down. But I'll definitely watch and see what happens if Bruce Willis, as his superhero Unbreakable character, has to go toe-to-toe with James McAvoy. Now that's something I would like to see. And I hope it happens. And I hope the second movie involves a lot of something like that. Okay, so there you go. That was my movie review for Split.